Hello and welcome to Worldwide Watch on CCTV International. I'm Li Dongning in Beijing. U.S. Treasury Secretary Timothy Geithner has arrived in Beijing for a 3-day visit as a special envoy of U.S. President Barack Obama. Geithner is visiting China at the invitation of Chinese Vice Premier Wang Qishan, who is a special representative of Chinese President Hu Jintao. Besides holding talks with Wang, Geithner is scheduled to meet with Chinese President Hu Jintao and Premier Wen Jiabao. The U.S. Treasury Department says Geithner will also participate in an event to highlight the role that U.S. companies are playing in China's economic development efforts. And he's expected to underscore the global leadership roles the United States and China should play in battling climate change. And the U.S. Treasury Secretary is to deliver a speech at Peking University on Monday. Geithner studied Chinese there during his days as a college student more than 2 decades ago. And Geithner's visit is his first trip to China since becoming Treasury Secretary of the United States. Before Geithner's arrival, China's foreign ministry said the two sides will exchange views on issues of common concern, and those issues include the international financial situation and bilateral cooperation in coping with the financial crisis. And preparations for the first round of the China-US strategic and economic dialogue is another topic on the agenda for Geithner's visit. And the new mechanism was upgraded from the Strategic Dialogue and Biennial Strategic Economic Dialogue, which were initiated by the two heads of state in 2005 and 2006. The Strategic Dialogue, co-chaired by a Chinese state consular and a U.S. Deputy Secretary of State, focused on political and strategic issues in the development of bilateral ties. A U.S. Treasury official said this week that Geithner will also discuss the Obama administration's efforts to deal with record U.S. budget deficits in talks with the Chinese leaders. Geithner was expected to stress to the Chinese leaders that the administration is committed to bringing down the deficits once the country has emerged from the recession and financial crisis. And China is the largest foreign holder of U.S. Treasury securities. U.S. federal budget deficit is projected to hit an all-time high of $1.84 trillion this year.
Interest rates on mortgages have dropped to historic lows, and refinancing has surged, as I said, putting additional money into...
Okay, joining us now on the phone is Mr. Cao Honghui, the Director of the Finance Market Division of the Institute of Finance and Banking from China's Academy of Social Sciences. Hello there, Mr. Cao. Well, the Beijing-based Global Times recently conducted a survey of 23 Chinese economists. A majority of them deemed China's vast holdings of U.S. bonds risky. What is your view on that?
Okay. Actually, it's a dilemma for China to hold U.S. Treasury bonds. As you know, it's actually difficult for China to make this kind of a choice under current international monetary system, because U.S. dollar denominates in the international trade and any kind of in overseas investment, and thus China has to accumulate tremendous foreign reserves. And actually, China has no other choices. It has to purchase more U.S. Treasury bonds under the circumstances. The problem is that China has to maintain its security of the Treasury bonds. Otherwise, it will lose lots of returns in Treasury bonds. But how can China maintain its Treasury bonds returns? I think the problem is that whether United States can control its monetary supply or its issuance of Treasury bonds in the future. Even though it has to raise capital from the market to continue its stimulus plans to help its private sector to deal with its debts in the market.
Well, earlier this year, after assuming his post as U.S. Treasury Secretary, Geithner said China had manipulated the RMB, but he has recently changed his tone, saying China is not a currency manipulator. So do you think the RMB dollar exchange rate will be a major focus of his agenda during this visit?
As everybody knows, foreign exchange rate is just an excuse to press other countries to accept its trading conditions. The imbalance between the United States and China is not because of the RMB exchange rate itself, but because of its globalization of the industries between the two countries and between other countries in the world. So foreign exchange rate cannot solve the problem of the imbalance between these two countries. So I don't think it's a very good time, the right time for the United States to press China in exchange rate again. But I think for the United States, it's one of the issues to mention to China, but the purpose or the target of the United States is to persuade China to purchase more treasury bonds, and because the main target of its policies is to raise capital from the market instead of the pressure for China in the two countries foreign trade. And in that case, I think for Timothy Geithner, it's not a very good choice for him to discuss this issue in exchange rate. But I don't think he would keep silent, because he has to, be confronted with the pressure from the United States itself, because lots of politicians and other, American public would understand RMB exchange rate might be one of the issues between these two countries. So in that case, I think Timothy Geithner might mention that issue, but it's not his policy target.
Okay, thank you very much indeed, Mr. Cao Honghui from China's Academy of Social Sciences. We'll be right back.